Clean this mess up, janitor. The new intern snapped at me in the elevator. I wiped the coffee, smiled quietly, and kept walking. Later that day, I stepped onto the stage for the all-hands meeting. The same intern was in the front row. I tapped the microphone and said, "Welcome. I'm the founder, and I have one announcement about our internship program. If you've ever been belittled, underestimated, or treated like you didn't matter, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and comment below if you love watching someone get exactly what they deserve. This isn't just a story about revenge, it's about smart, satisfying justice." The morning had begun like any other, with the usual hum of computers, the clatter of keyboards, and the faint smell of coffee drifting through the open office. I carried a tray, balancing my own coffee cup and a few papers, when the elevator doors opened and she stepped in. The new intern, young, confident, brimming with the kind of arrogance that makes first-year employees think they're untouchable, looked me up and down. Her eyes narrowed, her lip curled, and then came the words that would linger in my mind for hours. "Clean this mess up, janitor." Time slowed for a fraction of a second. The warmth of my coffee seemed to intensify, as if echoing the heat of sudden, simmering anger. My pulse quickened, my jaw clenched slightly, but I didn't reply. I wiped the spilled coffee calmly, methodically, letting her words pass through me without giving her the satisfaction of a reaction. I could feel my mind beginning to strategize. That snap, that utter disregard for experience, was an invitation. She thought she was asserting dominance. She thought she could humiliate me. She thought she could intimidate someone who had built this company from the ground up. Little did she know, she was about to step into my arena. Later that day, the all-hands meeting began. The same intern, the one who had mocked me, was front and center, her smug grin visible from across the stage. I stood behind the podium, waiting for the room to quiet. The hum of chatter fell away, every pair of eyes gradually turning toward me. I tapped the microphone, and the room went silent. The instant silence made the intern shift uncomfortably in her seat. Her previous bravado seemed to falter for the first time. "Welcome, everyone," I began, my voice calm, measured, authoritative. "I'm the founder, and I have an announcement regarding our internship program." The intern's brow furrowed. She leaned forward slightly, expecting perhaps a scolding or something trivial. She was ready to feel superior once again. But I had other plans. I paused, letting the anticipation build. The room was mine now, every whisper, every glance, every subtle movement feeding into the tension I had orchestrated. "Starting this semester, we will be introducing a new mentorship program. Every intern will now be paired directly with a senior leader in the company." And I said, slowly scanning the front row, making eye contact with her, "Our interns will now be responsible for executing real projects, measured by real outcomes. Not just busy work, not just coffee runs." A slight ripple of surprise moved through the audience. She stiffened, realizing that this wasn't a lecture about cleaning spills. It was a complete shift in responsibility. And I continued, letting my words hang for effect. "The first intern to complete their project with measurable results will be promoted directly into a leadership shadowing position, a role that reports directly to me." The intern's smug smile faltered. I saw her pulse quicken, the tiny catch in her breath, betraying the realization that this wasn't a game she could control anymore. For months, I had watched her arrogance, her condescending remarks, her sense of entitlement. She assumed that new, flashy interns could belittle someone like me, but she had underestimated the power of experience, timing, and authority. Every detail mattered. The coffee spill in the elevator, the sharp words, the perfect placement in the front row, all deliberate coincidences that built the stage for this moment. I had waited, watched, and mentally rehearsed how to turn her own hubris against her. "Projects start today," I said, finishing my announcement. "And yes, that includes everyone in the front row." All eyes fell on her. The intern swallowed, a hint of panic in her otherwise composed posture. This was no longer a game. She had publicly mocked someone she now realized had the ultimate authority over the very program she was part of. I could almost feel the shift in the room. Her peers, once possibly impressed by her audacity, now looked at her differently. Respect and curiosity replaced admiration. She wasn't the center of attention anymore. She was a participant in a challenge she wasn't prepared to handle. I stepped down from the podium, letting the mic click softly. The room's silence became almost tangible, as if the air itself acknowledged a psychological victory. Every sneer, every attempt to belittle, had been neutralized, not with anger, not with shouting, but with precision. I had turned her arrogance into a showcase of accountability, where the rules favored skill, preparation, and earned authority. The intern slumped slightly in her chair, her confidence visibly shaken. She had assumed dominance through disrespect, and now she was forced to compete under my rules. Weeks later, I watched from the sidelines as the interns presented their projects. The same intern, once brash and mocking, struggled to keep up. The other interns, motivated by real responsibility, excelled. And the winner? Someone who had quietly observed, learned, and executed. Someone whose authority and intelligence were underestimated, just like I had been once. That intern, the one who had shouted "Janitor" in the elevator, eventually approached me, humbled, quietly seeking guidance. It was a subtle, perfect vindication. Justice hadn't needed cruelty. It had only required structure, intelligence, and timing. Sometimes revenge isn't about shouting louder or showing off power. It's about patience, strategy, and letting the natural consequences of arrogance unfold. Respect isn't demanded, it's earned. And those who underestimate you often become their own undoing. If you loved watching someone get a lesson they'll never forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below. Tell me, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? Share your story, and let's celebrate the moments when justice is delivered perfectly.